So if I want to talk about the acquisition of Lukoil's Bulgarian subsidiary, then I talk about it, and I do not hide it. So I cannot be accused of sidestepping important issues. Lukoil is Russian-owned. About the sale of Lukoil, we need to negotiate with Lukoil. Now, if we understand correctly, the Americans have granted a sanctions exemption regarding the sale of Lukoil, allowing it to continue. There may obviously be Hungarian economic players in the energy sector who might be interested in such a series of negotiations. If they need support, we naturally stand behind them. Since the good operation of Hungarian energy companies and their regional strengthening can be identified as a national economic interest. But, I say once again, I do not need and never needed a cover story for any matter.
You described it nicely, but it is certain that there is a situation in the Balkans, not only in Bulgaria but also in Serbia. In Serbia, the majority owner of the oil company is Russian, or is majority owned by Russians, and they are also subject to sanctions. So the Serbs must also take some steps, and, theoretically, oil could play a role, as it is one of the strongest energy companies in this region.
Yes, but again, the situation is that there is an owner, and, of course, the owner is under sanctions, but he is still the owner. And for the asset to transfer from one owner to another, it is necessary to reach an agreement with them. It is visible because they are reluctant about nationalization, because from that point on, it casts a certificate over the entire national investment environment, and in certain cases, it reduces the investment appetite in the country. If foreign companies see that, for some reason, there are difficulties, then they might even nationalize our assets. So it is clear that everyone is cautious. But, regarding the Serbs, let me just say that they are trying to push us into the position where we are questioned as to why we do not supply ourselves through Croatia with crude oil. First, I have a fundamental issue with this whole matter. Because on what basis can anyone try to tell us where to buy oil from? We consider something safe and cheap from somewhere, so that is where we purchase it from. I fundamentally have an issue with the basis on which anyone from outside wants to intervene in where another country, say Hungary, should buy its energy resources. It is nobody's business. This is a national jurisdiction. I have never said that Croatians, Serbians, or anyone else should interfere with where other countries, for example, Kenya, buy their energy resources from, or where they want to or can buy them. What business is it of ours? They know what is good for them, how it pays off, how it is competitive, and how it is safe. But why am I bringing this up? Because, of course, you say that the Russian oil company in Serbia is under sanctions. As a result, our supposedly fantastically secure oil supply from Croatia, a few tens of thousands of tons deliveries, is also very difficult, or cannot be fulfilled. Considering that the pipeline coming from Croatia to Hungary has a branch towards Serbia in Croatia, it is now emptied due to the sanctions there.
When they say in Brussels that with just one move it is possible to cut Europe, the European Union, off from Russian energy sources,
that is why I say it is worth looking at the development of European oil imports through third countries. As suddenly countries appear among the import sources that either do not have much oil themselves or have increased their Russian oil imports.
You could say that Hungary is under constant attack in terms of being dragged into the war, and it is not self-evident that we are not participating in this. A recent attack was President Zelensky's statement that, come hell or high water, he will ensure that Russian oil cannot come to Hungary.
We will find a way so there is no Russian oil in Europe.
Verbal attacks in this form are one thing, but if they have practical consequences, then it is a practical attack on Hungarian sovereignty. This is unacceptable. So, even with this, how does President Zelensky have the audacity regarding Hungary's energy supply.